my question earlier about high school sports, that was my attempt to transition to that because you ran cross country
Yeah.
and you had a lot of friends in cross country, and I didn't
Uh-huh.
run cross country, but for some reason a lot of my friends ran cross country. And
Yeah.
in our high school, after school, when you would go to cross country practice, really what your practice was kind of running around campus or like the town near campus,
Yeah.
right?
And like the neighborhoods. Yeah, the neighborhoods
Yeah.
nearby. Yeah.
And
Just running.
you and our mutual friends would always come back and kind of fill me in or just kind of talk about the events of that day. Some crazy stuff
Yeah.
would go down during those cross country practices, right? Like
Oh
people getting
yeah.
into hijinks.
We had some hijinks for sure. I mean,
Without
like
naming
it
names,
was
can we get into some?
nah, yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, like it's just like, I mean, obviously, like we were running and we were practicing, and like our team was pretty good too. So like, obviously, like we took it seriously. I took it seriously, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you have a bunch of like your friends, just like the practice was like, all right, we like you're released into the wild, kind of go for run for an hour or whatever. So I mean, we'd get into we like to explore, I would say. There was like some definitely like some runs we liked going on. Like you could hop the train tracks um behind like this neighborhood, and like if you hop the train tracks and ran through like the woods a little bit, you could get to like the Plainsboro Preserve, which is pretty cool. So we would do that a lot, and it was just like a lot of messing around, like you know jumping in like creeks and like reservoirs and stuff that we probably weren't supposed to jump in and go swimming in. But it was something that we did. It was a ton of fun. uh you know some of the guys would just like I wasn't even one of the ones that was like the most hijinks of the group. Like um I'll name some names here. Name some names. Like Brian Calhoun, Ryan Ogg, they straight up, if they had their way, they would just run straight into the woods, like no path, like there's no trail, like there's thorns everywhere, poison ivy, branches, you name it. They would just like they loved that. They like lived off that. They would just like run straight into the woods. And like there's sometimes I would follow them and I'd be like come on, like this is like running through all this mud and like thorns and stuff. Like this is too much for me. But they loved it, and they would. I mean, I'm sure they have just the two of them, because there weren't too many people who were following them at a certain extent. But I'm sure the two of them have some crazy stories to tell. But there's definitely some runs we went on where we just ended up like how did we end up here? Like we're in the middle of these woods somewhere, like no idea where we are, and we're just like, all right, like I guess we'll turn around, try to find a way out. So
Oh, and you guys probably didn't have your phones on you because you weren't
no,
like
oh definitely
short
not.
shorts.
Yeah, we definitely did not have our phones on us at all. So
That's crazy. I remember one story, and if I'm thinking about it now, it's probably been blown out of proportion just through like rumors and stuff. But tell me if you could confirm or deny. I remember hearing about one kid who was running, and he had to, you know, take a leak, drain the main vein. So he kind of ran into the woods, and he was, you know, relieving himself. But on the other side of the woods, we were pretty shallow. There were houses, and there was
uh
a little kid in his backyard, and he saw
yeah,
he saw the cross country player peeing,
yeah, yeah.
and he told his mom, and his mom called the school, and it was a big thing, right?
Yeah, it got blown out of proportion. I mean, he wasn't trying to, pee right near this person's backyard and have some little kids see. I mean, could he have hit it a little better? Probably. But, like sometimes when you're running, you got to go. I mean, runners do that. So,
You gotta go. You gotta
uh,
go.
but yeah, no, we had to like run on school property for like a couple weeks after that as punishment, and it was this whole big thing. But it kind of resolved itself. So I mean, but yeah, for a moment it was like a big deal. We were like, what? We gotta run. around the high school, like just on the campus. Like, because before we were running all over the place, because we were running like 7-8 miles at a time. So you could I mean, like, our town's not that big distance wise, so we could cover like a lot of distance and go a lot of different places in that time. So that was cool.
I also remember hearing a story about usually when you run cross country, it's like late fall, early winter, right? So it's pretty cold out.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I remember there's like a large body of water, I guess, near our school, like a little lake or a pond, and it was frozen over.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell that one?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
quick.
no, yeah. I mean, there is like people. I think that was during winter track. Like, we would still run outside, and like obviously like bodies of water freeze in the cold weather, and like some people would run out to them and like try to test to see how far they could go. And this one kid fell in, and it could have been a lot worse. Like, now that I
Yeah,
think
that's why I'm
about it,
laughing.
like,
It didn't have a bad
like, he
ending.
got
That's
out
why I was
fine. Like,
laughing.
he was
Yeah.
cold, but like we got in a lot of trouble for that too, because I think he did need a little bit of medical attention when he came back to practice. Like, so like hypothermia didn't set in or anything. But yeah, so we got in trouble for that too. But
That's crazy. Cross country practices sounds more wild than band camp.
I couldn't tell you about the band camp aspect. I mean, but I've heard some
That's
crazy
because
stories.
what happens at band camp stays at
Camp
band
stays.
camp.
Band camp.
Yeah, we had
You
cross
just don't hear
country
about
camp
the
too.
crazy stuff.
We had cross country camp too. It
Really?
was fun. Yeah, we would all the whole team would go out to like kind of like the Poconos in Pennsylvania, and like at this like campsite, and we'd all set up tents, and we'd just like run there and have practice and get away. There's a lake.
That's really cool.
It was really cool, actually. It was a ton of fun. I'm trying to think, like, nothing too crazy ever happened there, I don't think. Like, it was just like a lot of fun.